Why am I here and how did I get here? Well, the reason I decided to come to Rwanda was I'd booked a ticket for Kampala and I was planning on staying in Uganda for around 55, 56 days. Most of the time in Kampala, I was also thinking of going to some other cities, maybe Gulu, for example. Um, what happened was this. I've been to Uganda several times, like 6 or 7 or 8, about 7 times I'd say. And each time I went to the airport, went through customs, and I was given a visa that was good for, I believe it was at least 90 or 60 days. I can't remember exactly. But for some reason, this trip, I didn't discover this till I left the airport, was my visa is only good for 30 days this time. Now, I'm not sure if this is a new policy or what the deal was, but obviously it caused a problem because after 30 days, I either had to get my visa renewed or or do what's called a visa run. If you've spent a lot of time in countries such as Thailand, you would be familiar with that. And for people who stay in, for example, Thailand for 3 months at a time, depending on the current visa situation, but many times they have to go to another country within 30 days, then come back into Thailand. So I had two choices. I could either go downtown and there's a department down there where I could get my visa renewed. I was looking online and what you had to do was basically leave your passport at the office for a couple days and then come back. And, I don't like leaving my passport. And I decided, why not just hop on a bus and go to Rwanda? So I went online and researched which bus companies travel from Kampala to Kigali. A couple names came up. One was Trinity Express, and the other one I believe was called Jaguar. I chose Trinity Express. What I did is I checked into a hotel for one night, not too far from the bus terminal. Now, I don't recall if they allow you to purchase online, but in this case, it's recommended to actually go to the bus station and purchase your ticket, usually at least 24 hours in advance. So that's what I did. I checked in the hotel. It was downtown near City Square. Took a motorbike to the bus terminal, purchased my ticket. The cost was around $13 US. The trip to Kigali is 9 hours, and you have the option of traveling during the day or traveling during the night. I decided just to leave that night and hopefully be able to sleep on the bus. So that night I went to the bus station when they ask you for your passport and your ticket and get on the bus. Now, when the bus is going from Kampala to Kigali, they put your bags in the middle aisle between the seats. The reason for that is the cargo section under the bus, they seem to put some sort of I don't know what it was. It seemed like some sort of farm products they stuffed the underhead cargo space with. So all the bags for the passengers were actually between the seats in the middle aisle. And like the trip was overnight, as I said. No, there's no washrooms on the bus, and they only stopped one time. They stopped in the city of, I believe it's called Mbarara. And it's a fairly large city, located about halfway between Kigali and Kampala. They stop, get off, you can go to the washroom. There's a convenience store there where you can buy things, fruit, snacks, drinks, and whatnot. So we arrived in Kigali in the early morning. I think it was around 7 or 8 in the morning. And I previously looked up some hotels that were located close to the bus station. I just wanted to get off the bus. I knew I would be exhausted and just walk to the hotel and fall asleep. So I looked online again, and I found a place called the Peace and Grace Hotel. It's located about 1 kilometer walking distance from the bus station. I got out in the bus station and walk to the hotel, and it was only a kilometer, but unfortunately it was up a very steep hill, so it was quite a hike. The hotel itself, I would not recommend it. The rooms were not nice at all. However, you can see it at the start of this video. That little patio area that they have is a very nice place to hang out. Matter of fact, the last day I was there, while I was waiting for a bus to leave at nighttime, I spent like 4 or 5 hours just sitting in that in those skull chairs you see at the beginning of this video and doing some work on my laptop. Now, I was only in Kigali for a couple of days, so it's really hard to form solid conclusions about the city, but it's definitely a place I want to go back to at some point. Matter of fact, if you're thinking of taking a first trip to Africa, I would definitely take a look at Kigali, because it's clean, it's safe, people are very friendly. I was kind of surprised. I thought we're in the area I was in, this area here you see in the video, most of the people spoke English. I was a bit surprised by that. I was under the impression that most people just spoke the local language, and there were some French speakers, but most of the people I dealt with spoke English perfectly. At the bus station, when you get off, there is foreign exchange stations, and I believe the rates were reasonable. There's 2 or 3 foreign exchange or cambios right at the bus station, so you can get your US dollars or euros exchanged there. One note about the border, at nighttime it can be a little bit intimidating, because what happens is, for example, going into Rwanda, at the border everybody had to get off the bus and then walk to, I guess, the customs for leaving Kampala, for leaving Uganda. So you stand in line and handle that, and then you have to walk about 800 meters. At nighttime it's almost completely pitch black. You have to kind of walk across the border on this dirt road where the visibility is very low, and then you go to the Rwanda side of things and get your visa at the Rwanda border. There was no problem there. What I decided to do is just get a East Africa visa. If you just want a visa for Rwanda, you would pay $30 US cash, and they'll give you a visa for Rwanda. So crossing into Rwanda wasn't too bad, although it was the first time I did it, so it's always a bit confusing. Coming back was a little bit more difficult. It seems like the customs or the border agents the Uganda border agents spent quite a bit more time looking at all the bags in the baggage compartment. Actually, coming back from Kigali to Kampala, they actually did put the luggage in the underneath baggage compartment, and the middle aisle was empty, but they went through every bag. And what happened was they're going through the bags, and we're sitting on the bus. Okay, all the passengers are sitting on the bus waiting, and one of the agents comes on and points at me and says, "Mzungu, do you have a bag underneath?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Come here." So I went outside, and they brought me to this bag, and the guy says, "Is this your bag?" And it wasn't my bag, it was someone else's bag. So I said, "No, it's not." So he goes, "Okay, you can go." So I go back on the bus, and a few minutes later they actually brought the bag onto the bus, and the guy says, "Whose bag is this?" And nobody answered. He just sat there for a minute asking whose bag this is. Nobody answered. So he said, "Oh, we're just gonna get rid of the bag." And I'm not sure what was in there, but nobody volunteered to be the owner of the bag. So I'll stop talking soon. This video is basically me walking to the bus station to purchase my bus ticket for later that night back to Kampala. The comfort level of the bus trips, you just be ready to be uncomfortable. it's so much. I mean, it's like an airplane. Airplanes are very uncomfortable. There wasn't much leg room for me. I'm about 6 feet tall. I tried to sleep, and even though I was tired, I just had a lot of trouble sleeping on the bus. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.
You know the bus to Kampala?
Kampala?
Yeah. Trinity. Trinity, that's what I want, yeah. Trinity. Okay.
This one.
It's Trinity, okay, thanks a lot, man.